Hey there, welcome. My name is Shelley Sanders, psychic medium and business intuitive, and welcome to Spiritual Sunday. So, I am so excited to be here with you today, both on Facebook Live and Instagram Live. So, do me a favor, like the page so you'll know when I'm going live, and then also share this topic with others who can really benefit from it. All right, so let's jump right in. So today we're talking about how to add integrity into your readings. So this is really important because we are in a very sensitive and vulnerable time right now. So we're in 2020 and this is a time of a lot of change. So there's a lot of upset around this change. So we have people that have been laid off. There are people that are concerned about their money, trying to make sure that their money stretched from the beginning to the month to the end of the month. There's also concerned about housing. If you're not paying your rent or if you can't pay your mortgage, you might be in jeopardy of losing your place to sleep and may have to go to a car or a shelter. So there's so much that's going on right now that it's creating vulnerability. Like people are really nervous and they're upset and they're not quite sure what to do. Now, within this vulnerability will come scammers, people who are looking to prey on your vulnerability in hopes that you're upset enough that you will listen to what they have to say. So, I understand what it's like to be vulnerable because as of March 31st of this year, 2020, I was laid off of my full-time job. So I understand what that feels like when you're used to having a regular salary, a regular income, and then have that to be taken away and then having to rely on unemployment. So during this time of layoff, I was just a couple of weeks away from my 16th anniversary. And so when I got this call, I knew that everything was going to change for me, right? So imagine, going from having a regular salary now down to a reduced amount of money coming in. And of course, we know when it comes to bills, those don't slow down, right? The creditors, they want their money. You have to keep paying mortgage. You have to continue paying your car note. You need to buy food. So the thing is, I understand what happens and how you can become vulnerable. Hey Shanice, welcome. So great to see you. Hey Deb, thank you for joining us. But the thing is when you become vulnerable, it's just so easy for people to prey on you. So I do not only do I do these spiritual Sundays, but I also do True Self Tuesday, and I do those on Facebook Live, and it's all about empowerment and being your best true self. Well, recently when I did a True Self Tuesday, there was a comment that came in that asked for advice, and it was around psychic mediumship. So I want to share this with you and just give you a second just to see how it lands with you. So this is the comment that I got. What's your advice, Shelley? I met a medium psychic who offered a free love reading, asked me to meditate and open my soul channel. Then after, she told me that I have issues with my relationship. She offered to help me, but I need to pay her $400. I told her I can't afford that amount right now. She said because I am not willing to pay her, even she knows I can afford it, that I am ruining my life and that I will never be happy because I chose money over her solution to fix my relationship. You know, we have the responsibility as psychic and mediums to add integrity to all of our readings. And what I mean by integrity is when you deliver a reading, you are representing spirit. And when you give a reading to someone, you are giving that information in the sitter's best and highest good. You are not coming from a place where you are serving your own agenda. And when you do serve from a place of your own agenda, there's nothing good that can come of this. Now, unfortunately, there are a lot of scammers out there that are not psychics or mediums, and they're preying on people in hopes that they can get money. So you can imagine that this start off with asking of $400. That is not the place where the scammer was going to stop. You can imagine that if she was to give that $400, that they would have found something else. More than likely, they would have said, oh, someone put a hex on you. Someone put a spell on you. Now I need $800 to remove that. Oh, there's something going on where your great, great, great grandmother did something, and now I need $1,200 to remove that. So it's really important that you develop your intuition and that you're able to follow and trust that guidance, so that when someone is, doing a scam like this, that your radar goes off, that you go, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. This doesn't feel right in my gut. So one of the senses that we use is clairsentience, and this is clear feeling. So this is your gut instinct. So for those of you who are moms, it's also known as mother's intuition. So you know that something that has happened with your child long before the phone rings because you have that connection. Okay, so it's also known as women's intuition, because if you've ever been in a relationship with someone and maybe you feel like your partner has not been faithful to you and just something doesn't feel right and you feel it, but when you check in with your partner, they swear that they're being faithful, and then later on you found out that they were really cheating. That was your women's intuition letting you know that something was off. And so it's really important that as psychics and as mediums that we tune into our intuition to get the truth, or in your life that you tune into your intuition to get the truth, so you don't fall prey to what people are trying to do and how they're trying to scam you. And so now when people begin to lie, you'll know exactly that this isn't right. Okay, so I see that Shanice has just shared with us, and she said that I've been scammed like that. 900, I only gave $180. So her scammer was asking for 900, and fortunately that she only gave $180. So I'm glad that you stopped it at the 180, because it could have gone further than that. So, when this happens, hey Kate, so nice to see you. Welcome for joining. When this happens, like, this shame starts to come up, and you're like, how could I fall prey to that? Then you start to close yourself off, and you start to put a wall up, and you start to guard your heart. And when you throw up this wall, what happens is that you begin to cut your intuition off, and then you can't get that guidance that you're looking for. Because what's really happening is whenever you're afraid, it's coming right here from your mind, right? It's all that loud chatter in your head, that negative talk that says that you're not going to make it, that everything's going to fall apart. How could you possibly let this happen? So what I'm here to share with you today is, whenever we're going through a hard time, some type of hardship, it is one moment in time. It is not an eternity. But your mind will trick you and make you think that it will never end, okay? So you got to know that Spirit has your back, that they're looking out for you. But if you're not tuned in, if you're not hearing the information, you're going to miss the guidance that comes through. So, it's just so important that we make sure that we have integrity when we're giving readings, whether we're practicing or whether we are professional. So with this, and because of a lot of scams that happen, and there's a lot of guilt around money. So I just want to address this a little bit, because I don't want to skip over this part. I want to say it is okay that at you being a psychic or a medium, charging for your services, because you are using your energy to tune into someone's higher self, to tune into their spirit team, to bring through that guidance that they're looking for, because in the moment they can't see clearly for themselves. And so you're providing the information and you're giving them options of what path they can take depending on where they are right now. Same thing with mediumship. Maybe somebody is really stuck. They need to get in touch with their dad because maybe their dad was their rock. And for some reason, they just might feel guilty about living and they just give up. And so the dad just wants to come through and say, hey, baby girl, don't give up. Hang in there. And so you want to be able to give the message so that your sitter can answer their soul's call and do the work that they were born to do. So I see that Kate is sharing that charging is something I'm still working on, not feeling guilty about. Exactly. So there's this whole thing around charging because there's a lot of shame with it because people will guilt you and say, if it's a gift, that you shouldn't charge. So if you think about it like working a job, your employer doesn't expect for you to work for free. There's no way you would ever go to a job and say, I feel guilty. I'm just not going to take a salary. So for some reason, that's okay, in corporate, but when it comes to spirit, it's because people are getting over on you and they want you to give them something for free. So that's their way of guilting you so that you would give them something for free. And so Debbie says, yes, that is so true. So I'm going to actually do a whole topic around spirituality and money because we definitely need to talk about this because there are too many psychics and mediums that are just broke because you won't charge enough. You won't charge with your worth. You have this guilt around charging. So Kate says, yes, my mother used to say, real psychics don't charge. So that's a belief system. So then you have to say, well, do real employees, expect money from their employers? So really it's a mindset shift, and sometimes you have to walk that road on your own to find your truth. So I'm here to help you with that. And I see, Deb, you said that you take donations, and that's great as long as you have a money or some type of energy change. But you want to make sure that it's fair and that are not under giving you, that you're not over giving and they're under giving, because then there's going to be something that comes up within you that's going to create resentment. So we will definitely have a whole topic about this. But what I really wanted to focus on today is the integrity and why it's so important and why we as psychics and mediums have the responsibility to make sure that we always infuse integrity into our readings. So, let me just say, while you're here with me live, have you ever been given a reading and had a sitter and the sitter was crying during the reading because she was just really upset about her relationship and that this particular, her boyfriend just wasn't going to commit and step up to the plate and just really being out there a player. And as you're tuning in and you're getting the information, you know that it's not going to go any further than it already is. But you just have to take that deep breath and say, okay, I have to give you what I get. And you might say, I hope that I'm wrong. But based on the energy that I'm getting, this relationship isn't going any further than where it is. So I've been in situations where I've had to have that conversation where it is hard in the moment and you have to give what you get. But when you do, please give the information with tact. Make sure that you are compassionate when you're giving that information because this person is already heartbroken. They've spent years with this person in hopes that it would move forward. And, in a lot of ways, they will come back and say, I kind of felt that, but I just needed that confirmation before I let go. Because when you do this with integrity and you don't sugarcoat it and pretend like, oh, everything is great, this person's going to straighten up and you're going to get together and get married. If you were to lie and not have integrity, you would lose credibility with that person because then they will come back and blame you and say, why did you give me this information when he's not changing? So you always want to make sure that you have integrity whenever you give a reading. I see Rhonda's here. Hey, Rhonda, so great that you're joining. And you say, yes, I had that happen with a reading I did with a friend. You know what? Your friend respects you when you're able to stand your ground and give the information and deliver it with compassion. And when this happens, you end up getting emails of thank you. And when you have integrity, you start getting referrals from other people, because it may say, well, you know what? If you go to her, she's going to tell you the truth. If you don't want to hear the truth, don't go to her. But if you want to make a difference and start to change your life, definitely go to her. So I just want to hear, like, what do you guys think of that comment that came through where that person was, trying to scam? Like, how does that help you as far as giving your own readings and really standing your ground? Yeah, Deb says, yes, Spirit has always taken care of me. That's really good. So, Rhonda, you joined us a little bit late, but I invite you that once this live is over to go back and look at the beginning, because we're talking about people that are scamming and how they're trying to get over and using people's vulnerability in order to get money out of them. So yes. So you know what? I'm really passionate about this because I love the work of what I do. I love teaching. I love sharing. I want to help you to make a difference. I want to help you to be able to shine your light and just be there for people. But in order to do that, it just means that we have to add in integrity and we have to be responsible in our readings. Yes. So I am just so excited. So, while you guys are typing, I just want to share with you what I have coming up. So if you are a psychic or a medium, or maybe you're studying to be a psychic or medium, I do have a free online masterclass coming up, and it's called Developing Mediumship. During this masterclass, I'm going to go over the 5 steps of mediumship. I'm going to share with you how to hold a link so that you're not in your head and you can actually stay connected to spirit. I'm going to also do some mini readings while we're on the call together. And then I'm going to also share with you a really simple technique that I use to help me to get relationships. So that when you sit down and you begin to do a reading with a sitter, you know if you have a man or a woman, or you know if it's grandmother or mother or sister or aunt. So you start to know who's coming in. I see, Kate, you said that you're very excited about the masterclass. Me too. So the URL to join us is mediumship.eventbrite.com. We already have people signed up, like Kate, yay. And I got some great content to share with you guys. I'm super excited, and that will be coming up soon. Shanice says that you're still trying to figure it out. So definitely, Shanice, sign up, because I'm going to talk about it. And for those of you who do enjoy online events, because right now due to COVID, we can't really get out together, I do have a online event coming up with another medium, and his name is Clayton Silva. And together we're going to deliver messages from Spirit. And that's on Saturday, October 24th. And we do have early bird tickets available. So if you want to join us, the URL for that is csmessages.eventbrite.com. All right. So Rhonda says, I have signed up for this class. Very excited. Yes, I am super excited too, Rhonda. I'm just so excited to, get into keep touch with you and to have these conversations. But I just feel like integrity is really important. And so please, when you're doing your readings, make sure that you have integrity when you're giving readings, and that you're having integrity for yourself. Because we do not want a sitter to ever abuse you, to be rude to you, or to say anything to you that's not appropriate. And at any time that you feel that someone is being inappropriate with you, it is your right to stop the reading and say, I'm not going to take this. You cannot speak to me this way or behave this way on the call. If it was where they took money, you can always refund them if it's in the very beginning. If you have a no refund policy, you just let them know what you did is not okay, and no, you will not be receiving a refund for that. And they can always check your refund policy. I see that Kate says, Spirit makes it very hard for me to not say what they mean. I always warn the sitter beforehand. I can't control Spirit. So very good. So you just let them know that the truth is going to come out. So if they want to hear it, you let them know at the beginning. And I love that you shared that you're going to get the truth and you're going to get that information. So very good that you're not sugarcoating that. So I so appreciate you joining me live on Instagram and joining me live on Facebook. And what I do is I upload all the videos to Google. I'm sorry, to YouTube. So if there's plenty of training videos there. So at any time, just go ahead to YouTube and go to Medium Shelley Sanders. Be sure to subscribe, and you can watch all of the previous videos on demand, videos from True Self Tuesday and from Spiritual Sunday. So if you just need a quick catch up, and anytime you have any questions, just go ahead and type in the comments, and I'll be in there to answer your questions. So thank you for joining me on Instagram, and thank you for joining me on Facebook. I hope that you have a wonderful Sunday. Stay cool and take care.